What's going on, ladies and gents? Dalibor here for T3G, and welcome to Tech Monday. This is a show where we do tech reviews, spotlights, deep dives, tutorials, all that sort of stuff. Today, we're going to be doing a comparison. Now, I couldn't just do with a comparison of one or two devices. Today, we're going to be doing a total... I feel like we need to upgrade for this one. Much better, I think. Now you should feel special. I don't even shave for my wife. Let's get into this. Come on. Welcome everybody to another Tech Monday. Today we're doing something very, very special. We're going to be doing what I'm calling a mic shootout. We're going to be comparing 10, count them, 10 different microphones. We're going to start with, of course, the in-body camera mic, and then we're going to move on to the on-camera, the Rode Micro, and some other special mics that you guys haven't seen before. Essentially, this is your walkthrough on how to upgrade your audio for filming, whether your budget is 15 bucks or 150 bucks. Of course, everything is linked below, but let's kick it off with the on-body microphone. Now we're trying to keep this as equal and even as possible. So this is, where's the microphone on this thing? About there. So I'm gonna need to get a little closer. This is a Fire GL. It was a Fire GL V3400. It's not doing anything, so I figure I might as well use it as a measuring tape. So this is me to the body. All right, right here. All right. So this is the Canon on-body microphone for the 70D, and now we get to compare it to everything else that makes this better. All right, that puts me at about the same distance for the Rode Micro. Now, this is an on-body solution, so this is something that attaches usually through a cold shoe. Sometimes if you have different models, you'll have a hot shoe option. But right now, it's just plugged in through the microphone port, so it just gives us a straight connection. The only drawback I've had with this mic particularly is that it actually, the shock mount that it came with actually fell apart. It kind of just cracked on me one day while I was putting it on. So I don't know why that happened. I don't know if that was just a one-off, but that was kind of a weird thing. I mean, it is a Rode, you know, it's like a brand name, but it really was disappointing. I had to pick up this kind of off-brand version of just kind of a standard mic mount. It's a little more sturdy than the one it came with, but it doesn't have the shock feature, so you don't want to be moving around with this one. Now, you know what? Come to think of it, there's another mic that's similar to this. You know what? Let my new buddy John tell you about that.
Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is John and I'm from the channel Tech on the Budget. Every week I look at innovative and unique tech products that fit all types of budgets and see whether or not they're worth checking out. If you're interested, be sure to check out the channel and subscribe. So the awesome guys at T3G Media reached out to me and invited me on their channel to talk about the mic that I use for my YouTube channel. The mic that I'm currently using is the Boya BY-MM1. It's a shotgun mic and it has a similar design to the Rode Video Micro. Out of the box, it comes with everything you need to start shooting. It has the mic, a shock mount, a furry windshield, 3.5mm TRS and TRRS connectors, and a storage bag. I use it with my iPhone 7 Plus, so I use a TRRS cable, and well, because it's an iPhone 7 Plus, that means I need to use a dongle to plug it in. Now, I'm not an expert or anything, but I think that this mic is awesome. It does a great job at picking up my voice, it sounds clear, well, at least to my ears, and it's a whole lot better than the built-in mic on my iPhone 7 Plus. And I've been using it for the majority of my channel, and I've been happy with it so far. I personally don't have any complaints about the mic, but I have read reviews that the shock mount wasn't that great, so if that's something that's important to you, you should look at a different mic. Again, I want to thank the folks over at T3G Media for reaching out and having me talk on their channel. I'd appreciate it if you guys checked out my channel, Tech on the Budget, and subscribed. Now, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video, and have a good one.
All right, thanks for the insight, John. You bring up a really good point. I know a lot of times people resort to using their phone as their secondary audio, besides having to use the actual microphone on a camera, or just in tight spaces where you can't really get in a good shot, you're gonna use the mic to get good audio. So what I wanna do is I wanna give you a sample of what the audio sounds like from the phone. I'm using just the voice recorder app that I found on the Android store, and we're just gonna hit this record button here, and let's see, let's get our comparison tool or distance tool. Boom. Now this is my Pixel 2 at about the same distance, and just kind of recording with my hand up. It can get annoying, it can get very tiring, I'm sure, but sometimes you gotta suffer for your craft. Now, the big drawback of recording on your phone, obviously, is that you would have to hold it in front of you. So the way to get around that would be to use a lavalier mic. Now we're gonna go back to this a couple times. The reason for that is that you can see how much of an improvement it is. With my phone, I can't do that because I do not have a headphone jack. So it does require that you have a headphone jack, or as John mentioned, you would have to have an adapter. Now my wife stole mine, so right now I don't have one available. So we're just gonna stick with that audio and move on to one of these guys over here. First thing, we're gonna talk about the Trust-In portable voice recorder. It's pretty sweet. It's real little. Like you could pocket this easy. You can have it really on the go. It's powered by a AAA battery, single AAA. The microphone on this is actually really, really powerful. We're gonna turn this on, and then I'm gonna place it at the same distance. Where are we at? Right here. So this is me talking at the same normal rate of voice with the Trust-In about the same distance away from me. Now obviously the benefit here is that it's portable, and it's going to be an improvement over the in-body microphone, or even sometimes, depending on what you purchase, the on-body microphone. The drawback is that it does not have some of the features that a more higher end option has. This has no microphone input. It has a line input, so you can connect it to a computer or another device and record from that, but you can't record from a microphone, so like a lavalier would not be applicable in this situation. However, as you heard, the mic is actually pretty decent. Now, the next mic we're going to talk about is the H1 Zoom. Probably one of the most popular YouTube mics. Pretty much everyone that I watch uses one of these or something like this, a recorder that has a microphone input for a lav, so that you can just get really nice crisp audio. We're gonna line it up with our measuring tool. So this is the on-body microphone on the H1 Zoom. Pretty solid. We've used it in many different situations, and it's been pretty ridiculous. Now here's the difference by using the lavalier mic. Now this is going to be what I'm going to continue using going forward and on future videos. So if you like the new audio quality, hit that thumbs up for me. Now you see the difference, and plus on top of that, now you don't have to hold it in front of you. You could pocket it. If you have a long enough lavalier mic cable, you could really hide it anywhere. The big benefits of the Zoom are the fact that you have the external microphone. You've got a dual direction microphone on body, so that's really nice. You've got volume control for input and output. It's got a headphone so you could monitor. There's really a ton of features on this and all that, and it's powered by a single AA battery. You've got format options on the back. You've got a ton of really cool stuff. This is like a nice, really good all-in-one solution. And now that the H1 Zoom V2 or something, or H2 Zoom, I don't know. It's a Zoom H1, so the Zoom H2 just came out recently. It's a little bit bigger, a little bulkier, which is kind of a drawback. But because that's come out, this is now about 60, 70 bucks on Amazon. Of course, everything is linked below. We're gonna continue recording off of that, but we're gonna go on and move on to the Aukey microphone. Now, I'll talk about the drawbacks of this thing right away. This actually only works, for some reason, only works with the cable that it came with. Now, this looks like a standard XLR to 1/8 inch cable, so I really don't know what's special about it, but I've tried putting in a more sturdy, kind of like higher end cable, and it hasn't helped. We've got it connected, and now we're recording through the Aukey using Audacity on my computer. It's plugged in through the front mic port, so that's not really using any of the advances of the audio chip that's on the 970 board. It's just kind of straightforward input. The reason I mentioned the fact that the cable doesn't work is because I've got the Behringer amp that I use for one of the other mics, and I was going to just run it through that since it's got an XLR to XLR cable, but it didn't work. It didn't record anything. It didn't pull any audio. I don't know what it is about the cable or the setup. I don't know if it's just this unit, but it does have that limitation. Now, in the original review that I did for this mic, I did find that it had a bit more of a tinny sound, and it picked up a lot of background noise, way more than my Samson that I'm kind of used to in my newer. So that's kind of a drawback there, but it is the cheapest standalone microphone that would plug in to a computer. It doesn't come with the stand. It just comes with like this. Actually, I might be wrong. The stand might have come with it, but regardless, it's okay. And I mean, if you have it kind of last minute, I'm sure it would do the job. Now, of course, we've got the big boy. The last microphone video that we did was to unbox this and test it out, give it a quick once over, and it performed excellent. And I think we're going to be treated to exactly the same. All right, so we've got that plugged in. Let's go ahead and set, this is the same distance. The volume knob is set to about half, and this is the Yeti microphone in all its freaking glory. This is the highest end of our comparison, but it is also the highest quality, so there is that. Now, if I were to talk about any negatives or drawbacks to this particular microphone, I would have to point out that the knobs, the volume knob particularly, and the gain knob in the back are kind of loose. They're a little less sturdy than I'd like them to be. But otherwise, honestly, the only like drawback really is that it's too big. So this is definitely obviously not something you would bring with you to an event or on location, because it's just too large. It's just incredibly large, and it'd be incredibly hard to place this without additional rigging and stuff like that. This, I think, is excellent for at-home use. I think this is actually probably going to end up being our podcasting microphone. Not this one, obviously. I'm going to return this one to its owner. We're going to pick one of these up, and it's definitely, I think, going to be the podcasting mic for us, because it has an omnidirectional mode that will just be perfect, because if we have 2 or 3 people additional to us, it'll be an excellent sound. Now, the next section here is going to require, it is going to require the Behringer amp. This is for the NW700. We'll do this one last, but I'm going to use the rigging to plug into the Samson. The Samson mic is the one that I've been using for years. Everyone always compliments me on it when I'm gaming. It's the one I've been using primarily for gaming. Everyone always compliments me. Everyone's like, oh man, like it's so crisp. It's such a good sound. So like the Samson itself is a good mic to begin with. But the beautiful thing about it is it's got USB 1/8 inch for the monitoring. So it's got a headphone port, and then it's got the XLR. So it could be USB or XLR. All right, we'll make sure we have our distance. And this is the Samson Q2U through the Behringer amp, and it has a really good crisp sound. Of course, that's all the way up, and this actually goes down way faster. I've only gone down about a quarter way, and this is the difference in the sound quality. So I don't know what the cause of that is with the amp setup, but I know when it's on the USB cable, it has no issues as far as audio. It has a very crisp and consistent connection. Now, as far as drawbacks, I really don't have any. This is kind of a classic mic, so if you have an XLR receiver or an XLR to 1/8 inch receiver, this would be an excellent mic on the go. Overall, it produces a really good sound. It's like a good size. It doesn't look ridiculous in my hand. Like this thing's kind of, I mean, like just the difference here, like this is kind of the difference. This feels as if it is the proper size versus being really cartoonishly large. And now, finally, last but certainly not least, we are going to go to the NW700. And this is this is all the way up here. We're going to all the way down. We're going to crank it up to about half, and this is where I normally leave it. This is where I'm talking. It's usually way closer to me. So if we crank this up to about 3/4, this is the sound of the NW700. Really nothing bad I can say about this microphone. I've had no issues with it. It's been really a champion. If it's all the way up, if it's all the way turned up and I've got background stuff going on, it can pick things up. Like you might be hearing my wife practicing Zumba upstairs right now. But otherwise, it's really good. It's really crisp, and having that external volume control so that I don't have to go into window settings is really major, especially if you're late night streaming. You need to adjust that without having to exit your game or any of that stuff. And again, the only downfall of this microphone is that it's kind of not really meant for on the go. Even, let's see, let's take it out of its little enclosure here, the shock mount. If we take it out of the shock mount, it's a kind of a weird size. Even if you had the microphone, even if you had the XLR connection, it's kind of a weird size to have on the go. And it just, I don't think this would really function well on the go, but I think for home use, for office use, I think it's absolutely perfect. All right, ladies and gents, thank you very much for your patience while we get this video done. I wanted to upgrade, I wanted to clean up, I wanted to make a little bit of a nicer presentation for you guys and definitely get the audio quality up. Again, if you like the new audio sound, make sure you hit that thumbs up for me. If you have any questions about these microphones, or if you have any suggestions about other microphones, definitely drop them in the comments down below. I truly appreciate your time. And of course, enormous shout out to John from tech on a budget, make sure you guys check out his channel. It's linked up top. It's linked down below. Make sure you guys check it out and show him some love. Thanks very much for participating in this little experiment, John. Make sure you guys come back next week for another review. I don't want to give it away. I think it's going to be cool. But come back next week. Come back all week. We'll see you guys in the next one.